Hello, my name is Diego Pardo. I am a language teacher. I've been teaching languages for over 10 years. I've taught Spanish, English, French, and I'm actually a specialist in linguistics. I specialized in linguistics and literature at university. I did French studies and then I studied education in order to be able to teach at public and more formal contexts. So I would like to be able to teach you the languages that I know and actually use the languages that I know, which may be the languages you speak, as a tool to help you understand certain concepts or vocabulary better. I can speak Portuguese, Italian, French, Spanish, English. I speak a few other languages, and I continue to learn languages. So today I would like to continue to talk about the verb to be. As we learned in our previous two lessons, we use the verb to be for a bunch of situations, and it is particularly special in Spanish to talk about the verb to be because we use it in a very particular manner. So let's start with a little review of the conjugation of the verb ser and estar, which are the two forms of the verb to be in Spanish. So for ser, let's do it together. So how about yo? What happens when we conjugate the verb ser with the first person? So if we say yo, and the conjugation would be soy, right? So yo soy, tú eres, él, ella, or usted would be es. So él es, ella es, usted es. Nosotros somos, vosotros sois, ustedes, ellos y ellas son. Bien. Okay. So when do we use the verb to be ser? When do we use the version of the verb to be ser? So we have several situations, as we said. We started with a few questions. One of the questions that I was asking you when we started talking about the verb to be was, ¿de dónde eres? So if you say ¿de dónde eres? You would say soy, right? Soy de, for example, soy de Canada. So I'm from Canada. But let's talk in a more general, let's talk about the verb to be in a more general sense. So in what situations do we use the verb ser? So we use the verb ser when we talk about um, characteristics that are proper to the thing or to the person that you're talking about. So, for example, if we talk about essential characteristics such as unchanging things, we can talk about people's profession, about people's identity, people's possession, cases of possession, and nationality. So you can say, for example, if we take into account this little flashcard, we can say about this person, you can say, él es, él es Jorge, él es Jorge, él es arquitecto, Jorge es de España, ¿sí? And then we can formulate all sort of questions about the same thing, so we can interact. I can actually ask you, for example, ¿de dónde es Jorge? So you would say, Jorge es de España. ¿Cuál es la profesión de Jorge? Jorge es arquitecto. Muy bien. Then we can say, for example, ¿quién es él? ¿Quién es él? Ah, él es Jorge. That is the first case, the case in which we talk about essential characteristics. Now, essential characteristics are also applicable to objects. I can say, for example, if I take a book, I would say, ¿qué es? ¿Qué es? Then you would say, es un libro. And then if we want to talk about the fact that there's something essential about it, I can ask you, ¿de qué está hecho el libro? ¿De qué es el libro? So what is it made of? ¿De qué es? Even with this same flashcard, I can ask you, ¿de qué es? So you would say, es de papel, es de plástico. Bien. So those are essential characteristics. When you say, for example, Jorge es de España, Jorge es hombre, Jorge es ingeniero, Jorge es vendedor, Jorge es profesor, etc. When you talk about professions as well. Then we have a second and very important case, which is when we talk about date and time. Entonces, we can say, ¿qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? If it's 2 p.m., we would say son las dos. If it's 1:30, we would say es la 1:30. In these cases, we are still using the verb to be ser. If we talk about dates, we can say hoy. So the question would be, what's the date today? Hoy es 25 de mayo. What's the date today? ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? Hoy es 25 de mayo. What day is it today? ¿Qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? Hoy es viernes. ¿Sí? Hoy es viernes. We can also talk about specific dates such as people's birthdays. We can say, ¿cuándo? So when? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? When is your birthday on? So you would say, mi cumpleaños es en 2 días, for example. And then we have another important case, which is the case of events that have been planned and that will take place. So, for example, a meeting. ¿Dónde es la reunión? La reunión es en mi casa. ¿Dónde es la fiesta? La fiesta es en el centro. ¿Dónde es la conferencia? La conferencia es en el hotel, and so on, right? So we can talk about events that will actually take place. Very good. And now, those are the main cases of the verb ser, which we were talking about in our previous 2 lessons, and there are lots of questions we can ask and that we can modify in order for us to interact and then learn properly how to use the verb to be. Now, the other version of the verb to be, which is estar, is also very simple actually. If you if you associate the situations in which you use both forms of the verb to be, then it will become automatic for you to use one or the other. We will use, first of all, let's try to conjugate the verb estar. So yo estoy, tú, what would you say? Tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. That would be están. Very good. Yeah. All right. So the first situation about the verb estar is location. So for example, where is the postcard? So the postcard is on the table. So you would say, ¿dónde está la ficha? La ficha está en la mesa. So location, right? We can also talk about changing conditions or people's state, like health, situations. We can talk about people's mood with the verb estar as well. And the question that we typically ask is, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy bien. ¿Y tú? Bien, gracias. You can say, again, ¿cómo estás? You can say, estoy contento. Estoy contento de estar aquí. Estoy triste, right? Estoy cansado. And then we can also use my flashcards to talk about the situations. We can actually talk about the 2 forms of the verb to be. We can say, ¿quién es él? Él es Jorge. ¿Cuál es la profesión de Jorge? Jorge es abogado. Jorge es deportista. Jorge es americano, ¿sí? ¿Cómo está Jorge? Jorge está cansado. ¿Sí? Those are a few examples of the things we can do, but we can do a lot more interaction, lots of questions and answers. My focus is pretty much on conversation, on interaction, so you can actually learn how to use the language in a more functional way, orally, right? Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.